We are about to begin the Veterans History Project interview. My name is Tony Kierna. I am the genealogy coordinator of the Schaumburg Township District Library in Schaumburg, Illinois. I will be interviewing Mr. Wallace Huebner regarding his military service. Today's date is November the 19th, 2018. The interview is being conducted in the Schaumburg Township District Library TV studio. Also present in the room is Miss Patty Smolin, a friend and neighbor of Mr. Wallace Huebner. Patty Smolin is also a business liaison librarian at the Schaumburg Township District Library and is a colleague of mine. Also present in the room is Megan Swarek, the Department Director of Reference of the Schaumburg Township District Library. Wallace, we want to thank you for participating in the Veterans History Project, and thank you for your military service. It is a privilege and an honor to be able to conduct this interview with you. So let's get started with some simple questions, Wallace. Where were you born?
Rhinelander, Wisconsin.
In what year were you born?
1926.
Okay, that's good. And what were the names of your parents?
My mother was Esther Cook for maiden name, and Huebner was Walter.
Okay.
Huebner was my father's name.
Okay. And did you have brothers and sisters?
Yes, I did. I was eight of us, I think. It was.
8 of you. That's a big amount.
I just think I'm supposed to be looking for this one.
Do you have their names, Wallace?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Virginia was
Okay.
the oldest. Donald was the second one. Lila was the third. Dell and Dean were the next two. They were twins. And I was about one Wallace.
Okay. You have a big family there.
Many.
And it was all up in Rhinelander.
Yes.
Okay. What were do you know the high school that you went to, the grammar school? Was it in Rhinelander that you went to school?
Yes, I went to the grade schools in Rhinelander.
Okay. And how about high school?
No, I never went to high school.
Oh, okay.
I took the tests to get my high school diploma, but I never went to high school.
Okay. Okay, that's good to know. And give us an idea, how did it come about that you went into the military?
Well, my brothers were all in the military, and so when it came time, I came 17, and I wanted to go.
Okay,
So
okay. And what year did you get into the military?
I don't know if I had that written down there or not.
Well, that's okay. But it was for World
Well, I
War
was
II.
17. I just
Okay.
became 17, and then I went.
Okay. And did you enlist in the military?
Yes, I did.
Okay. And what branch of service did you go into?
And to the Navy.
Okay. And was the Navy always a choice that you wanted to go into?
Yes, 'cause my two brothers,
Okay.
they went in the Navy, and so I wanted to do that.
Okay, that's good to know. When you entered the military service, had you been previously working in Rhinelander at that time?
No, I was down in Chicago at that time,
Okay.
working in the defense plant.
Okay, okay. All right, that's good to know. And now when you went into the Navy, where was your first encounter with training? Where did you go for training?
Great Lakes.
Okay. Was Great Lakes, that was right here then in the Chicago area?
Yes, right.
Okay. And how long was your training over there?
I don't remember how long, probably a few weeks.
Okay. And was there a specialty that you got into in training? What was like your job in the Navy at that time?
No, I was just enlisted, and I was just getting training. I hadn't
Okay.
done anything. Yeah.
Okay. And let's say when the training part was done, did you go for further advanced training with the Navy?
Yes, I
Okay.
did.
And was that also in the Great Lakes area here?
No, I went down to Virginia.
Oh,
I went
okay.
to a diesel engine school.
Okay.
I learned
okay.
diesel engine.
Okay. Well, that's good to know for that. When you were in training, what was probably, I guess, the most memorable incident that you had?
Well, we had to take swimming and everything. We did our boot camp and everything, and then you had to swim.
Okay.
So that was a big experience.
Now, now in Rhinelander, I'm sure you probably were swimming up there.
No, I never was a swimmer.
Really? And yet you joined the Navy to keep the tradition, huh? With the family.
I didn't think about that part.
Well, I guess you're thinking about it now, but it's a little too late for that.
Well, that was an important part of that. Was
you're right.
training in that.
Well, yeah, if you're in the Navy.
Join the Navy, and then you had to do something.
I agree with that. When you were in the training part, do you remember any instructors that were really special?
No, I don't remember any
Okay.
of those. That's a long time ago. But there was an important part of my training, I'd like to say. We had to do the swimming.
Okay. And was that, you would say, the hardest part of training?
Well, it was most emotional.
Okay.
We went in there for swimming, and you had to be able to swim, and you had to be able to jump off the board.
Okay.
And then you had to take your pants off out in the middle of the water.
Okay.
Take your pants off, put knots in the legs, and throw it over your head to get air. So that was
Wow.
if you fell off the ship or something.
That's
what
pretty
you had to
good.
do.
Now, I don't think I ever realized that.
Well, but the part is, so I couldn't swim, I really couldn't swim. I paddled. So I went around the pool, and I cheated a little by kicking
Okay.
my right foot.
Okay.
So then I went up on the platform way up there, and I don't know how high that is, but it's high. And that was to learn you when you squeeze your legs together and protect your body.
Wow.
So that's how you were supposed to jump off a ship.
Oh,
So I did that.
Wow, that's
And I went down.
that must have been pretty scary then, the first time doing that from so high up.
What happened was I jumped over and went down and down and down, protect myself, and wait a minute, I think I got to come up. And I was
Okay.
way down there, and I fought my way up. I almost drowned.
Were there trainers like in the water to help anybody? if
Well, they were
in
on the
trouble?
side. Nobody was in the water,
Okay.
just you. So after I had done that, then you had to go and try to put that bag on.
Okay.
So the only way I could do it was just go out down in the water and
Yeah.
get it apart and go up, get some air, tie. I went up and down and up and down. I don't know how the heck I did it.
Well, you're here, so you must have done it
I
pretty
did
good.
it. So,
Were there any of the other trainees that were there that had problems, like they couldn't jump off, or they had a problem once they got in the water?
no, they all did it.
Okay.
Yeah, they all did it, yeah.
So if that was the hardest part of what was let's say, the most fun part of any training that you did?
Well, let me point out about when we finished the training there.
Okay.
The next morning, we all lined up, and the instructor said, all those people who didn't pass swimming, go over here. You other fellows go over here. So we marched around North Chicago for an hour or two, and those guys that couldn't swim got to swim.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, but I'm mad at myself for that.
So in other words, they had another chance to be able to prove that they could do it.
Oh, yeah, they taught them how to swim. I thought that, well, if I can't swim, they won't accept me.
Well, that
It's a
is
dumb
sort of
16,
like
you know.
when you think about the Navy, that is just almost a requirement
Oh,
and
yes,
stuff like
so,
that. So now so you went for advanced training out of Virginia, you said, and it was working on diesel engines?
Yeah, first of all, I went home after you train, you go up north.
Okay.
And so I went home and I got the measles. So I had to stay over, and I did that. So also all the guys that I went in with, they were all gone.
Okay.
So I was alone from then on.
What did your family think of you being in the Navy?
They just accepted it.
They did, because you had a family tradition, it sounded like.
Well, no, it wasn't. It just happened that way.
Okay.
My
Okay.
oldest brother, he was working for the government, you know, cleaning trees and all that. So he went the first day of the war, he was gone.
So once you were done with your leave up and back at the family in Rhinelander, when you came back, did you come back to Virginia?
No, I came right back to Great Lakes.
Okay, and did you ship out from Great Lakes then to go overseas?
No, I went down to Virginia for the diesel engine
Okay.
training. I learned how to knew everything about the great diesel engine.
Okay, all right. And how long was the diesel engine training?
Oh, I think it was about 3-4 weeks.
Okay.
It was very thorough. We had to learn to take a diesel engine apart, put it back together, and then they would take and goof it all up, doing things wrong, and then you went over and had to correct it and make that thing run.
Okay.
It was very complicated.
Now, was it diesel engine training, was it across for all the ships in the Navy, or was it specific to a certain kind of ship?
We all did that because of Higgins boats. I was on the Higgins boat cruise.
Okay.
And so you had an engineer, and you had a motor mate, and a crew.
For those who are going to watch this, give us an idea. I'm not even sure. What exactly is the Higgins boat?
Higgins boat, you see in the movies and that, were the ones they take the troops in.
Okay.
And drop them off.
Okay.
So we had the Marines on there. We took the Marines into landing at Okinawa.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. So now you let's say you got done with your diesel training.
Yeah.
Did you then ship out to go overseas?
Well, I was on the East Coast, and we just took a train all the way to the West Coast.
Oh, okay.
It took a week.
Wow.
Well, we had everything that was going through military, we would push us to the side, so it took us a week to go across
Okay.
the country.
So when you went to the West Coast, was it Los Angeles, San Francisco? Where did you go?
We went to Frisco, and then we also went down to Catalina Island.
Okay.
And that's where we learned the training about how to lower the boats off the ship. And
Okay.
pull them up on shore, drop your ramp and all
Okay.
that.
Is that, now the Higgins boat, is that something that you wanted to get into as part of the training, or did they just pick you for
Oh,
that?
they just picked me.
Okay.
They picked you for what you... See, I had a lot of knowledge. At 12, 13 years old, my
Okay.
brothers and I had a car, and we even rebuilt the engine into it. So I knew a lot, and that showed up in my training. So
Okay.
they gave me the Great Marine engine.
Okay.
Cool, yeah.
See, that's, I guess, a perfect fit. Your knowledge of the skills
Yes,
that you
right.
had at home was able to be applied for the training and the actual job that you were going to do then at that
Right,
point.
yes.
So how long were you on the West Coast then? Did you then go overseas from there?
Not for a while. We trained there at San Diego, down there, and we would go out there. They had a ship out there, and we'd go out there and jump on the ship and learn how to go up and down, and then we'd drive into the beach and drop everything and that. And
Okay.
we did that for about a week, and that was terrible. It was colder than heck. And that's where I got my first seasickness.
Really?
Well, it was because when you pull in there, that was very rough water there.
Yeah.
And so what we do is go in there and drop the anchor, and we had a rope, so we'd hold ropes there so the boat wouldn't twist.
Okay.
So and then we did all that, and if they leave you there for a couple hours, you did it, and somebody else, it was very cold. And when that boat would tip, it would go way over. And that's where I first got my seasickness.
So how did you just get used to the seasickness? Does it just
Oh,
become
yeah.
normal that it's
it took-
okay?
Well, it took a long time because I had very poor balance.
Oh, okay.
And so it took a long time. We got on the ship and went down out of Seattle there to I forget what they call that, channel down to the ocean. I
Okay.
was seasick on that big ship before we got to the sea.
Wow.
So we got out in the ocean, and we were that crew, but it was for the boats, so we didn't have nothing to do, and we trained a little bit.
Okay.
And what was I going to say then? So anyway, so we went down there to the sea, and when I got in the sea, I got really sick. So I disappeared for 3 days. I sitting there going over the side, throwing over,
gosh.
3 days, and the officer in charge of it, he come down there and looked at me. He didn't know where I was for 3 days. He said, okay, just stay here.
Well, I'm glad to hear that you actually got used to it and then it
Oh,
became
yeah.
much better
In
for you.
fact, you
and
got
stuff.
used to it, and then when you would pull into harbor and get off, you got a little seasick.
When you were on the West Coast, were you already then assigned to a ship?
Yes, we
Okay.
were, yeah. No, I don't know. We were training, and then they sent us to a ship. So I
Okay.
don't know if they had that all organized before.
Do you know what the ship was that you went to?
Yeah, USS Renville.
Ah,
Right there.
what's
Yeah.
on your hat then?
Yeah.
Now, the Renville, is that like a very, very large ship that only had Higgins
400
boats
and
on it?
400 and some feet. It was a big ship.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it was only supposed to then have the Higgins boats on it, and then
Yeah,
that
we
was
had
it?
about 12 or 16 Higgins boats on there.
wow.
And we had one bigger Higgins boat where they would put jeeps on it and take them in.
Okay,
So-
okay. So tell us now at the point when you finally got shipped overseas. How was that and how did that develop?
Well, we got ready, and then we went up to Bremerton, and it was a new ship. It hadn't even been Christian or anything yet. So we
Okay.
walked the plank.
Okay.
That's where you walk off. When you're building a ship, you walk across the plank. So we
Oh.
walked the plank, and we were there for a little while, getting organized and everything. Had a liberty there, and then we took off.
Okay. So now you were going towards where? Did you know your destination?
Never told you a destination. You never knew where
Okay.
you were going. We knew nothing. All the things that happened, and people saw it on the news, that we never knew it. We were never told anything.
Okay.
And the theory, I think, behind it was they didn't want you to know anything, because if you fell off a ship or got sunk, and the Japanese would take you, they would drill you for
Oh,
everything you wanted.
Okay.
It's like that. So they throw the garbage out. At that time, they threw the garbage out, and the Japanese, they didn't follow us, but the ships and that, they would try to follow them and get the garbage to see if there's information in there.
That's rather interesting.
Oh yeah, it was. Yeah.
I guess I could see now where you have to be, it's a very security conscious operation not to leave any pieces of information that
Yeah.
could be picked up. And I can understand then why they didn't tell you then where you were
Right.
going.
We never knew nothing. And we read a letter, and they opened the letter and read the whole thing, so there was nothing in there.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have heard about that where I think the government looked at the letters, they censored
Oh, yeah,
stuff
they
on
looked-
it.
They, right on the ship, they look up.
Were you getting letters from your family?
No, I never received anything.
Really?
Well, the family was all, my mother was the only one that could have done that.
Okay.
So I was no contact. That's a big family, and everybody did their own thing.
Yeah. Did you miss getting letters? Were you hoping that you did receive any letters?
Never entered my mind.
Okay,
Just a kid,
okay,
a real kid.
okay. So now when did you actually find out that you were going to be into the war zone? Or did you ever know that you were going to be at Okinawa?
Well, we knew we were going to be doing landings. We were supposed to do a landing before that, and we had trouble on the ship. We hit a log, and we had to go back to the United States to get the ship fixed.
Oh, wow.
So we missed that one, and then got back, and we went to the Okinawa one.
So were all of the Marines on board the ship then too? Or did they transfer over to the ship or?
No, well, when we got to the States, we took a group of Marines,
Okay.
and we went right directly to Okinawa there.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. And what was how did the Higgins boat get in the water?
Well, they had a ramp, and a cable, thing, and they would lower you down in.
Okay,
Just drop you off, and then you had to take and bosun mate, he's trying to keep the thing.
so how much, so there was you on board the Higgins boat and was there like
Three of
another,
us.
three of us?
The-
Okay,
The engineer, I was the engineer, and bosun mate and one hand. We were three of us.
okay. Do you know about how many Marines were fitting on the boat?
I figured it was about 35 to 40 of them.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they packed them right in there. yeah.
Okay, okay. And how far offshore were you, and then the Higgins boat started coming into shore? How far was the big ship out there?
Oh, Gee, I don't know.
Long way?
Yeah, well,
Okay,
15 minutes or so.
okay,
Well,
okay,
they were out in the deep water. Yeah.
okay. And how was it with the weather out there?
Well, the weather was fine. You know, you out on the ocean, it's always kind of warm.
Okay.
Very hot in the engine
Okay.
room.
So now, was this like the entire fleet of the Higgins boats? They were loaded with Marines and you were taking them to the shore?
Yeah, we did a lot of going. We went all over the Pacific.
Okay,
All down beyond the equator and all that traveling around. But on that time when we took them, we picked up the Marines in Chicago,
okay,
on the West Coast, and then took them over there and dropped them off there. We were the second wave.
okay.
First.
When you were bringing the Higgins boat to the shore, were you under fire from the Japanese at that
No,
time?
when we got there, that was a different war. They didn't stay on the beaches and everything. It was all mountains, and
Oh, okay.
so it was everything was very high up. So when you come in there, they were up in the caves, and they'd come out sniping and that.
Okay.
So I never saw any of them. They just hoped they didn't get you bulleted.
Okay.
So, but it was pretty secure when we got there. 'Cause
Okay.
For the first, the ones took over and controlled everything.
So the Higgins boat comes close up to shore, and that's when that front part drops down and the Marines get off,
Yeah,
right?
we go right up. You take full speed
Okay,
and drive it up on the shore as far as you can. And drop the ramp, let the people off, the troops
Okay.
off, and then rack it or close it up, and then you put full power on reverse, and it sucks up water,
Okay.
and you can back off.
oh, okay.
Yeah, but you had to watch for coral. So I was on the back watching for coral was there.
So could coral damage the boat, the Higgins boat?
Well, the ground is all coral.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's real hard coral. So you had to go over that, and so you holler coral, and you'd let off speed so they wouldn't.
Okay,
Well, we lost a screw once because of it.
okay.
And so
And when you say you lost the screw, is that the propeller?
propeller, yeah.
Okay.
So we went back and got a new propeller.
Okay, because there was more than one propeller on the boat, on the Higgins
We
boat?
only had one propeller.
Okay,
Now the
okay.
bigger Higgins boats, we took the Jeeps and everything, and they had two props.
Okay,
And there was an incident with that one time.
okay,
We went in there and unloaded, and a larger Higgins boat was over there dropping off.
Okay.
Sheep, I guess it was.
so actually then there's two different sizes. The
We
Higgins
had two,
boat for the
yeah, that's all.
people.
They thought they had all kinds of, it turned out that you couldn't get to shore around there. So like we took the troops in, the Marines in, we got near shore, and they had bigger equipment that could crawl up on the land and come back. So they had to transfer from our boat onto this thing and get to shore.
Okay,
But then when, later on, while we had that one position we could go to.
okay. And when you dropped the Marines off, you went back to the ship, and then did you have to keep coming up and back with new, a boat full of Marines?
Okay, so we dropped the Marines off, and then we went back to our ship, and they dropped net loads of supplies
Okay.
for the troops, food and stuff. So they dropped that on us, and we go up, drop it off, and the Marines would take it away, and we did that for 4 days,
Wow.
3 nights, 4 days we were there.
Wow.
And so,
Let me just start it up. So when you were on ship,
let me finish that.
Oh, go
about
ahead.
The other. Okay, so we pulled up and back off. One day, we were backing off, and this larger with 2 screws was decided to back off. As we were starting to back off, they decided to back off. Well, they got 2 big screws, and they sucked all the water. So we hit the bottom. I flew off.
oh,
And now it's about this distance between us and them. So when I fell off, I fell over towards their boat. And I fell in, and these 2 big screws are sucking. So I caught the side of their boat, and I was clinging to it.
wow.
and my legs are underneath there. I don't know, not a few seconds, they would have chewed my legs
Oh
right
my
out.
gosh.
So they had a man on the back with a phone, and so he stopped them.
Okay. That was a
the
close
big- That was
call.
a big excitement.
Yeah, that was a close call.
Yeah, well, I was wet, when we didn't get back to the ship, So
Okay.
that night, it was cold, so I crawled, we
Yeah.
had 2 tanks of diesel fuel on it. I crawled back in there, between there, slept in there, because I was so cold and wet.
Did you develop a lot of good friendships with a lot of your mates on board the ship?
Well, yes, the boat crews all hung out together and talked a lot, and we trained a little bit, and then we would sit and play cards and stuff.
Okay.
So the captain didn't like that, so he gave us jobs on the ship. So we're a boat crew. In fact, in the beginning, we would stay up all night, guysing on our horizon, looking for other ships or submarines and that.
Okay.
So then he decided that wasn't enough, so he signed everybody on our ship, our crew, to do jobs. They sent me to the to the engine room. Some guys went in the bakery, some went in the kitchen, all that stuff, and so that's when I got assigned down there.
Okay. What kind of like recreation did you do on the ship, or what other things did you do to have fun on the ship?
Well, the boat crew said we used to do some exercises and that, and then did the training looking for ships and that, and then working at night. And then when I got into the regular crew, there was no exercise. You just did your job.
Okay. Okay. All right. Did you have anything with you that you considered like a good luck charm?
No.
No?
No. That's tough today. Back then, you didn't have nothing. You just tried to stay alive.
Because especially since you went overboard, I was thinking maybe you had some kind of good luck charm that helped.
Well, I didn't have that.
Okay.
I didn't have to do that. We never got attacked, so
Wallace, how long were you in the Navy?
26 months.
Okay.
2 years and 2 weeks,
Okay.
2 months.
When you were at the Okinawa part and you got done with that operation, did you go to other places that were still active with
Oh yeah,
military?
we traveled all over doing different things, and we were on the move all the time, in and out of the States, getting supplies, going to up and down, got down below the equator. We really hit the whole Pacific, yeah.
Okay. Do you remember any of the other islands? Were you like Okinawa? Were any other islands you were on?
Well, there's one little island there we landed at. I don't
Okay.
know.
Well, that's okay. But at least it sounds like your whole time was spent in the Pacific.
Yeah. The only recreation we got when we'd be at a place where it was safe and everything, we'd drop the Higgins boats and go in on the island there and throw a little football or baseball around.
Okay.
And they gave us a couple of beers.
Okay, that sounds like a little bit of fun at
Yeah,
least
that was
you
the
had.
recreation we had.
Because, that can be tough to be under such stress all the time, and at least to be able to get something to play some
There was no
games.
stress. I didn't have no stress. Yeah, we went to dropped off the Guadalcanal. That was all secure. And that was a little incident too.
What happened there?
Well, they said they took a Higgins boat and they said, you want to go in over in Guadalcanal? So I went because down in there we used to steal a little bit and eat in there and get the bread. We knew people that were making bread and all that. So I went in there to try to find some food, like canned food, food that we could put on sandwiches and that.
Okay.
So, and so I took off. I said, where's there a store here? And they told me. So I went in to Guadalcanal, and that's just the jungle there. And I looked and looked and looked, couldn't find it. So finally, I found my way back, and I get there to the dock, and my boat had left.
Okay, it had left?
Yeah, it had went, so.
Were you the only person left on the shore?
Well, there was other boats doing that. So when I went
Okay.
there, they said, oh, your boat's gone. so one of the boats that were going back, he put me on there, and he took me back
Okay.
to my ship.
You didn't get in trouble for that, did you?
Well, what happened when I got back to the ship, they were ready to sail.
Oh,
A little
wow.
while longer, I would have been left.
Wow, you
Yeah.
cut it close then.
Yeah, I did. So I went up the gangplank and saluted the officer. And he looked at me and I looked at him. I saluted and he saluted and I walked away real quietly and we took off. Otherwise, I would have been stuck. Man, what happens when you miss your ship or stuff? You go somewhere else. You don't have anything. You have to be re-equipped and you're on another ship.
Okay.
So you had new crew and everything.
Wow. Boy, things can go wrong.
Oh, yeah. And it seemed like I did a lot of rollers.
Nah, well, you were cutting on the edge a little bit.
Yeah, I did. I did. What's that? Oh, yeah. While we were there, we went through a typhoon.
Oh.
A big typhoon. They called it, I don't know what they call it, but I thought it was in the China Sea.
Okay.
Anyways, a typhoon there.
Okay.
We went into that, and the guy Admiral who sent us in there, he took and sent us the wrong way. He sent us directly into the typhoon.
Wow.
So we're riding out the typhoon.
So now it was your ship and other ships, right?
Oh, the whole fleet
The
was
whole
there.
fleet.
The whole fleet. We had battleships and everything going there, and then they had the smaller boats, Higgins, not the Higgins Boat, they weren't in the water, but they're like destroyers and smaller attack vessels and that.
Okay.
So what you do, you lined up all the large ships, and then you line of the smaller ones and bigger ones.
Okay.
And you go through that. Well, we were in there quite a way, so you had to try to put fuel on the boats, smaller ones, and I don't know what was written in there or not. So.
Wow. How long did the typhoon last?
Oh,
A couple days?
Several days. Yeah, so we went right into it, which was a mistake, and the admiral that did it got in big trouble.
Really?
She sent us right into it.
Wow.
So,
Did all the ships make it out okay?
No, we lost a few in there. I don't know if I had
Wow.
my other letter. I guess if you ever get to read it.
That's pretty, I mean, that was pretty significant
Oh,
that
it
even
was
the
big,
typhoon
very
could
big,
lose the
very
ships
terrible
like that.
thing. Yeah, that lost boats, and yeah, some had to be refueled, and you couldn't refuel them, and so I don't know. I think it's in my other letter shows me. Yeah.
Okay.
The boy. Yeah. Yeah. Well, let me talk about it. We at one point we had to. I forget it now.
That's okay.
That's an important part.
The valves in the boiler.
Oh, yeah, we were, well, let me get this straight here now. We did that, and then, when we went in, one of the incidents when war ended, we went into Tokyo Harbor, and we anchored. And there was only two men in the engine room, one guy on the wheel, and I'm on the boiler.
Okay.
Yeah, we had one boiler going with one nozzle making it steam and everything.
Okay.
So we got a signal, that wheel you see in there, and he wanted full reverse.
Okay.
So I started opening valves, and I got four of them going, and he's my man with me. He's down there trying to get air. Yeah, each time you need more and more oxygen and everything. So then I would increase them. I'd switch them and put bigger nozzles, and he's running around trying to get the air, oxygen up there. And then he's got to try to find the water.
Wow.
And in fact, he was running out of water, and he went over and he found a pump over, and I never knew about that darn pump. I knew everything about that thing, but I didn't know the pump.
Wow.
So he got water. It would be black up there, it would be white. What had happened was the captain got, this Japanese pilot was going to crash the ship into the dock.
Oh my
So
God.
they said, the guys were up there, they said he took and pushed them off and took over the ship, and that's what he put all that on.
Wow.
So we're going bigger and bigger. We had everything going there, And then all of a sudden they put full stop.
Okay.
Well, we blew every safety we had. The guys up on the deck said, wow, white smoke, black smoke, and then steam all over.
Oh my gosh. Well, you really got to know what you're doing when you're
Oh,
in
yeah,
those
yeah.
operations.
And
it
that
seems
wasn't even
like.
my operation. I was a diesel engineer.
Okay.
And I learned that whole engine room when they
Okay.
put me down there. So, yeah, so anyway, the captain called down and said, thanked us that we did a good job, you know.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Because you did mention that you went to Tokyo, to the harbor. Was that after the war
Yeah,
had
that
ended?
was, that incident I thought was right, the war had ended,
Okay.
and we went into Tokyo Harbor.
Okay.
And that's when that happened.
Were you on board your ship when you got news that the war had ended?
Oh, yeah, they told
How
us.
did everybody feel at that time?
We just accepted it. I don't know how they felt. I accepted everything in life.
Okay.
I come up with nothing, and I was happy every day of my life.
Okay. So now that the war had ended, how was your transition coming back to the United States? Did your fleet just, turn around from the Pacific and come back?
Well, no, we were transported, so we would go over there and pick up people from the West Coast, from out there, the troops and all
Okay.
that.
Okay.
So we would take them back and
Okay.
go back and forth,
Okay.
and then we were doing that, and then it's hard for me to remember all this
That's
stuff.
okay.
So.
So finally, let's say you got home now. The war was ended.
Okay, yeah,
you
the
were
war
home.
ended, and so we started bringing troops and everything back. At one time, we had a Japanese prisoners on there,
Okay.
and we had to transfer them, and the Marines were guarding them and that. Oh, the Marines got so mad, they let them eat the same food we did. And they loved sugar. We had sugar bowls. They poured sugar on all their things. Marines would be so mad that we treated them good because,
That's interesting.
oh, you know what they did to all those
Yeah,
troops over there. It
yeah.
was horrible, yeah.
So now, tell us about when you finally came back yourself to the United States.
Yeah, we went back and forth, bringing troops back and everything, and finally we came back, and we were still going back and forth, but the guys were getting off according to their
Okay.
follow-
And how about, was it for you coming home?
Okay, yeah, so let's see anything about that. So we were delivered troops back and forth several times. And then it came to a time where, in the meantime, they were losing crew because they went back.
Okay.
So then at that time, then I got down towards me, you know.
Okay.
And they wanted me to stay on board. See, one of the incidents of when I was on the ship, I don't know, it's so short, but I only had one stripe.
Okay.
Marine Ashore, Marine 1. And several times we were on the ocean and everything, they would get for promotions. And they'd come up to me and they'd say, Wally, you're due for promotion. Well, we would like you to skip it and let those men with families get it. So they did that all through the war. I
That's
never got there
interesting.
for one stripe.
Really?
Yeah, so then when it was all going, it's time for going people home, you know, and they were getting short of a crew, they came up to me and they said, we'd like you to stay on.
Wow.
And I said, oh, we'll give you a big promotion and everything. I had made up my mind by then. I did my share.
Okay. Yeah, it sounded like from the stories you already told us, you were in danger plenty of times and things happened. And
Yeah. I never felt in danger.
So did you then come back home to Rhinelander?
Yeah, well, anyway, so finally it got to me, and I refused, and I took off. I went to run back home.
Okay.
Great Lakes, and then went home.
Okay. And how was it feeling to readjust to home life now that you had been in the military in the war? Was it a whole different thing to try to overcome?
No.
No. So you're a good guy for that. You're
I
straight.
accepted everything.
Okay.
You gotta remember, I grew up in poverty,
Okay.
and I seen everything.
Okay.
And Whatever it is, I was happy every day of my life.
I'm glad to hear that.
I don't know how many other people did that, but I was always happy.
When you got back home to Rhinelander,
Okay.
what kind of job did you get then?
Well, when I got to Rhinelander, I didn't have a job, and somebody said to me, well, they got this 5220 club. You ever hear of that?
No.
Well, you'll get $20 a week for 52 weeks.
Okay.
5220 to get you adjusted. So I went down to apply for that. And he said, okay. And he said, but we got a job if you want it. I want it. So what it was making plywood.
Okay.
That you take the logs and you steam them and get them hot, and then they blade them and they come off as sheets, you know?
Yeah,
and
okay.
that's like, then they put them together to make thicker.
Wow.
But that was a terrible job.
Gee.
Burn and wet and it was a terrible job. And so the fellow across the street was at the a printer. So I didn't even know him. I knew he was a printer there, so it was they had in the paper. So I went over to him. I said, hey, I see you got an opening there. I said, I'll get you in if you want. So I became a printer.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
And how long did you work as a printer?
All my life from then on.
Okay.
I was Rhinelander there. I stayed there for 5 years and learned how to set the type, the linotype, and everything else. And then I went to Chicago.
Okay.
Got a union card. And
Did you come to Chicago because the jobs were better?
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, because I don't know, I think we made like probably $6, $8 an hour or something.
Okay.
Wasn't much.
Were you working for a printing company that like produced books, or was it a newspaper?
Newspapers.
Okay.
That was up there in Rhinelander. They Rhinelander Daily News. Yeah.
Okay.
So I worked in there and then learned the linotype on my own. After hours, I learned that by myself and did that, and I did that. And then finally, we always wanted to get out of there.
So did you switch to any other jobs, or did you just stay as a printer for your whole career?
I printer all my career, 45 years or
45 years, wow.
Yeah, so I joined the union, and then I went down there, and my buddy, he came down there with me, and we had the best job in the world with Commerce Clearinghouse. They
Okay.
published financial stuff.
Okay.
So we had a great job there because they had an agreement with the government. The law would pass on Friday, and CCH would get all that information instantly, and we would start printing all the new rules and whatever.
Okay.
And on Monday morning, we worked the whole weekend, double time.
Wow.
And then on Monday morning, they had it all in the mail to all over the country, all those financial institutions and everything.
Okay. That's pretty good. When you were back home, did you keep in touch with any of the friends you had made in
Few
the
of 'em,
military?
No, I was never close to anybody because moving around there, but I met a few guys up in my area, and I kept in touch with them a little bit. And after that, they were gone, and then the only connection I had when the war was ending there, I met a guy, he was transferred to our ship. He was one of those little things that took the boats in and that, so.
Okay.
So, the war ended, they just dumped it, you know, and sunk it. And he got transferred to our ship, so I met him, and he was from Rhinelander, from up in Fond du Lac, Wisconsin.
Okay.
So we became close friends.
Okay.
So we were good close friends, so he died a
Yeah.
few months ago.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Sad to hear that. But I'm
Yeah.
glad you had the friendship continue then.
Oh, yeah, he would come up by us, we'd go on vacations together, all of his kids and us and stuff like that.
Wow. Wallace, did you join any like military veterans
Yeah,
organizations?
I'm going to the
VFW?
VFW.
Okay.
Yeah, I joined the VFW.
Were you an active member of that?
Well, not real active because I was so old by then, but I would go to the meetings and that. But that's clannish. All those guys that were on there before me, they all grouped together. I'd sit there and try to talk to them, but
Okay.
it was okay.
Okay.
It's part of life.
All right. Let me just ask you a little bit now, sort of like reflecting on a lot of different things that you've experienced and stuff. How do you think the military life affected your life?
It really didn't affect it.
Okay.
I mean, I just did the thing, and I worked in the defense plant and all that stuff. And so, I don't know if I told you that about the defense plant I worked. After I got down to the city at 16, my sister, Virginia, she worked at a defense plant, and she got me a job there.
Okay.
16 years old, and we made gauges.
Oh, okay.
And so I did that. I was doing a man's job. A big machine there making gauges. You had to raise them together, and a 16-year-old girl and me 16 doing that. And so that was part of one of the incidents that when I got on the ship and I got down to the engine room, why, I looked around and saw everything, and then one day they asked me to go on the wheel. You'll have 2 men on the wheel, one in charge and one guy standby. So I looked up and, oh wow, there's one of my gauges I made.
Wow.
So when I got a chance, I started tracing it, and I figured out what it was. You know, it was got a steam engine, a steam boiler, and you have sections on there for the steam getting bigger and bigger and all that stuff. Okay. So they have seals in there, and they had brass seals. And I figured, oh, that thing there had 4.5 pounds on it, and that would press those brass seals there to keep it. Okay. So I was on the wheel one morning, and 3 officers showed up. And I stood there with the guy, and I said, what are they doing here? He says, oh, he said, we can't get a vacuum. And I said, well, I know what to do. So he called our loader up there. Wally knows what to do. I only got 1 strike. They just ignored me. So after a while, he hollered at him, Wally knows what to do. So I said, okay. So I just reached up there. Nobody knew where that valve was even there. I turned that valve up to 8 pounds, and the extra pressure, we got vacuum right away.
Wow.
And then I brought it back to normal. Those officers were standing over there. They turned their back to me and walked away. Never said nothing to me.
Okay.
So, yeah. But I got even with them one time when in the engine room there, and I told you about the steam and all that there. We saved the ship, and the captain called down and thanked me. I said, well, I made up for those jerks.
Here's a sort of a real general kind of question. You being in the military, what are your thoughts about war itself and the military itself?
Well, I think we should have a strong military in all phases of it.
Okay.
And we need that. Got the whole world around here, and we're supporting the whole damn world, which I shouldn't use that word, but and so we need that. And because there's wars all the time, and we're the big country with the money that can do that. So yeah.
Okay, that's good to hear for that.
Oh, yeah.
Another general good question here. What message would you like to leave for future generations of people related to the military?
I forgot what I wrote down.
Well, that's okay. Whatever you want to say.
What do I say about? Say it again.
Okay. What message would you like to leave for future generations?
To love their country and support it, and be behind the government.
Okay. Okay. Very good. We're going to come to our conclusion shortly now. So here's another just question for you. Is there anything in this interview that we didn't talk about that you'd like to talk about? Is there any other stories you have?
I wonder what I got a lot of them.
Okay.
So Patty probably got that here somewhere now, and I don't know where it is.
Okay.
Oh, you want me to tell that? Anyway, support your country and everything, and be good government and have back your country and keep it going on. But I met my future wife Maxine, and when my brother Dell, we went and had a car, and on Saturday nights, it was up Rhinelander. There you go, it was parked down in the middle of the town and talk and look around and that. So that one night I went down with my brother Dell. He always did that and had a girlfriend. So I went with him that one night, and there was another girl there, and that was Maxine. And it turned out that Maxine, but the guy across the street from me, Maxine was his wife's sister.
Okay.
So that's how I met. Didn't know steer across the street there. So that's when we got together, yeah.
So Maxine was your wife then?
Yeah, later on we got
Okay.
married.
And how many, did you have children?
Who, me?
Yeah, did you have children with
Yeah,
Maxine?
we had, where I got that right there. Yeah. Okay,
Oh, that's okay.
where was it? It said there somewhere about 8 children. I think it was. Oh, children, me.
Children, yeah, children
Oh,
that
my
you had
children.
with
Yeah, I
Maxine,
had
yes.
5.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
So you're used to big families. Your family as you grew
Yeah,
up with
right.
your siblings
Yeah,
and
yeah.
parents, and then 5 children that you
Yeah,
have.
right, okay.
That's pretty remarkable.
Oh, yeah.
That doesn't happen too often much
No.
anymore today.
Did I talk to you about the service of the different people?
Yeah, you mentioned somebody that your brothers and
Yeah,
I believe
Army,
your sister were
Navy,
in.
and all
Yeah,
that. Okay.
yeah. So we had gone over that then. All right, here's another good general question. What would you like people to know or remember from the stories that you've told us?
What do I want to remember?
What would you like people to know about the stories that you've told us?
Oh. Well, remember it because it was all good things, and they talked about the history and everything, and then it's, know everything about my life and
Okay.
how I enjoyed it and everything, and then whatever happens, you should accept it and
Okay.
enjoy it. I enjoyed every day of my life. I was never depressed.
I think that's one of the best messages you could leave to anybody.
Yeah.
I like that.
I was,
Wallace, I think we're going to conclude this interview now.
Okay.
So this concludes our interview of Mr. Wallace Huebner for the Veterans History Project. Thank you, Wallace, for your participation in the Veterans History Project. It means a lot to us as individuals and to the nation as a whole that your story of your military service will live on for all future generations to reflect upon. Thank you so much for sharing with us your story of your military service. And thank you so much for your military service. It has been an honor and a privilege to be able to interview you. Thank you so much.
thank you.